this weird book for my birthday. It's all here. Literally every memory I have is written in these pages. So now I'm curious. What happens if I rewrite it?
Hi guys, I'm here in the E3 Konami studio with Tomm Hulett, the producer of Silent Hill Book of Memories. Hi Tom, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. So why don't you start off by introducing to us Silent Hill Book of Memories?
Well, Silent Hill Book of Memories is the first time Silent Hill's been on the PlayStation Vita, and it's also the first time Silent Hill's been multiplayer. We wanted to take a unique approach. We didn't just want to take the old Silent Hill game and stick it on Vita and do it the easy way.
Right.
So we came up with something new. It's a little bit different. It's more of a dungeon crawler than players are used to, but I think it still feels like an authentic Silent Hill experience once you get there and you play it yourself.
What are some of the unique characterization that we can find on Book of Memories?
So when players start the game, they create their own character. It's meant to be them, their representation in the game. So starting out, you can choose from a number of different classes that you might find in real life, like Goth or Bookworm or Jock. And then we have a number of, you can change their clothes, their face, their hair, and that'll alter the stats a little bit of their character. And then just hopefully they can assume that personality and accept that that's them in the game and really get into the experience. So the story really revolves around things that are happening to them. So that's an important aspect.
So what are some familiar characters that we can find on Book of Memories?
Well, Book of Memories is kind of a celebration of all the past history of Silent Hill, so there are a lot of returning characters. Howard is the postman in Downpour. He's a pretty popular character now.
Right.
He's, he runs the shop in the game. And then a lot of creatures that you meet are creatures from past games. So Pyramid Head and the nurses, all the fan favorites are here.
Right.
So there's a lot to look forward to if you know Silent Hill really well.
So this is the first time Silent Hill is a multiplayer game. Can you tell us how other players interact with each other?
Yeah, so you can play with 3 friends, so 4 players total. And you can connect through the internet wirelessly or also locally. It's supposed to feel like you're friends and you're in Silent Hill. So you can communicate using the D-pad. There's a number of pre-recorded options. So if you just need health, you could hit it and they'll say some class-specific thing. Or you can actually use voice chat also if you just want to talk directly to your friends. So
wow, that's an amazing feature. So you can literally, like 3 people can play, you could talk about it, and then at the same time,
right. So you could be ruining the game for your friends by talking about your math homework or whatever. But you can also, share items that you find. The game will change slightly if you have multiple players, so that's cool. But also, if you don't want to play with your friends, or if they're not ready to play and you want to play offline, you don't lose any progress. You're saving the character. So whether you're single or multiplayer, you're still progressing through the game. You're still getting new items, new story.
Right. So what is it like being on PlayStation Vita?
Well, it's always challenging working on new hardware, but it's kind of exciting too because you have all these new toys to play with, and which features do we want to use, and how do we want to do that. So we really came up with a big list of here's all the features on the Vita. And then here's all the things we could do with them, and then we looked at our schedule and our budget, and here's the key things that we have to do because they're the coolest. So besides the multiplayer, which is a big part of Vita's connecting with friends, we focused on the touchscreen aspect. So you can use your menus on the touchscreen, which is really intuitive and simple, and then the rear touchscreen we use for special attacks. There's a lot of games with touchscreens, and you're blocking the screen with your finger, and you don't really know where you're aiming. So with the rear touchscreen on the Vita, we can actually you can still touch, but you're not blocking anything. You can see what you're doing. So that was kind of an exciting feature too.
Right, so someone who's never played Silent Hill Book of Memories, would you advise them to play the first one in order to understand the storyline of the second one?
You don't really need any history with Silent Hill.
Okay.
Because it's a celebration, you're kind of getting like the best of. So that's kind of cool. You don't need to have played the others to understand the story. But obviously, if you have, there's all the extra, like, oh, I recognize that, and this is a cool secret, no, they put this in. So it works for either. And if you have friends who are into Silent Hill, you can get that from them and work at it that way.
Speaking of secrets, do you have any special surprises in store for our Silent Hill fans?
So as you play the game, just the plot is you find a book and your life is in it, and if you erase lines and write in a new line, that becomes reality. Things obviously change based on how you play, and the story will change. There's a lot of graphical elements that will also change based on how you're playing, and there's a lot of fan service in that. So look really carefully at everything that changes because there's stuff in there that you'll recognize and appreciate.
Right, so you could literally play it 10 times and have completely different storylines.
Right.
I mean, that sounds so exciting. Now, this is the first time Silent Hill has become a multiplayer game. Please elaborate on that.
Well, you know, Silent Hill's always been about fear and horror, and having multiplayer, you have to sort of approach it from a different way, but it can still be scary and it's new stuff that people haven't seen before. So while most Silent Hill games you're alone, and we really make sure you feel alone all the time, on this one, you're together, so we let you get used to that. And oh, I'm with my friends and I can depend on them. But then if one of them is away and taken away from you, you don't have that anymore, and now you're taken back to this, I'm alone, oh my gosh, I have to find my friend, where are they? So it's stuff like that. We can really play with that more, and since this is the first multiplayer Silent Hill, fans aren't used to that, so it can surprise them and be different.
Yeah, and then so that also includes the disadvantages of having a multiplayer.
The biggest challenge to doing a multiplayer Silent Hill is it is different and new. And the Silent Hill fan base is really particular and set in their ways.
Die-hard Silent Hill fans.
Right, so they see multiplayer and they just go, nope!
Yeah.
So, you know, to them I'd say...
you can choose to play as a single player.
Right, you can play it single player and then it's just slightly different gameplay, but it's still you and you're alone and you're by yourself and it's cool.
Right.
But I'd say to them, give it a try. I think you'll find it's a real Silent Hill. It's just a little bit different. And, you know, I didn't stomp all over your favorite games, I promise.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate having you. And like you said, always give it a try. You never know. We still always have this single-player option. If you want more updates, please follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at facebook.com/SilentHill. We'll see you guys soon.
Konami.